Tony Popovic has named the Socceroos squad for the crucial upcoming World Cup qualifiers against Japan and Saudi Arabia. We know Australia are so close to securing their place in the 2026 World Cup. Is this squad the team to finish the job? Some interesting inclusions in this team, that's for sure, and some big players who are missing out on this squad for these two really important matches against some really tough opposition. We'd love to hear from you guys. How do you feel about the squad? Are you happy with the team that was named? Which players are you surprised to see in this squad and surprised to see miss out in this squad as well? Starting off with the goalkeepers, no huge surprises there. Matty Ryan, Paul Izzo, Joe Gauci. I think Australia's three strongest goalkeepers at the moment, and probably Australia's three strongest goalkeepers for the last year or so now. In terms of what we'll see from the formation, we have seen Tony Popovic deploy three central defenders in his time as Socceroos head coach so far. This squad does suggest that we may see a change from that. And look, it may not be. We may still be playing the three centre-backs. But I think considering the number of midfielders and forwards that have been named, we could well see the Socceroos shift to possibly a 4-3-3, maybe a 4-4-2. We'll have to wait and see. But there is certainly more midfielders and forwards named in this squad than Tony Popovic has named previously. First of all, those centre-back positions, they're great to see Alessandro Cecatti return. Obviously, he missed out plenty of football this past season due to injury, but he's been starting for Parma in recent weeks. Degenek, Truen, Rolls and Burgess there as well. So no huge surprises there. Great to see Kai Truen there again after winning the A-League Men's Championship with Melbourne City overnight. Lewis Miller, Jason Gary are the right-back options, as is Beige and Casey Boss. A first Socceroos call-up for Melbourne Victory left-back Casey Boss, obviously brother of Geordie Boss, and I think it's well-deserved. He's had a very solid, consistent season, and he is certainly following in his footsteps of Geordie Boss. And it's something that we've said, I think, for the past year now, since Casey Boss sprung onto the scene just over a year ago, that it felt like he was destined for a Socceroos call-up. And it's here. It's probably come maybe a little bit earlier than we expected, but hey, he deserves it, man. He's had a top season for Melbourne Victory. Midfield. Now, we could see these midfield players play a variety of positions. They're very versatile. Aidan O'Neill, Paul Ocon-Engsler is there as well. Huge call-up for the young midfielder who obviously started for the Australia under-20s in the Asian Cup earlier this year. I like the call-up. Obviously, a lot of talk around Nectar Triantis, though, and we'd expect him to be in that defensive midfield conversation. Tony Popovic touched on it briefly. He didn't cover it too much, though, in his press conference today, talking about the squad. All that he said that was that Nectar informed the side that he wouldn't be joining the training camp. And there's been some speculation online that maybe Nectar Triantis is considering representing another country. This is something that we've seen with a number of players in recent years. It's happened quite a lot, really, over the years for Australia, where players can represent a number of nations. And Nectar Triantis, it would be really disappointing if Australia was to lose him, because he's a fantastic player. But exciting to see Ocon-Engsler in there. Yazbek, Caceres, Metcalf, Ryan Teague, very solid midfield options there as well. The other big player to miss out is Max Ballard, and that is a real shock for me. Look, I love Paul Ocon-Engsler. He was arguably Australia's best player in the under-20 Asian Cup tournament, but I don't know what else Max Ballard has to do to get into a Socceroos squad. There isn't much else he can do. He's been phenomenal this season, playing in the Netherlands, starring week in, week out. He can play as a sort of a six, deep-lying midfielder, or a bit further up the park as well. I'm not sure what else Max Ballard has to do. Look, it's a big call. Paul Ocon-Engsler, who's, again, still at the start of his career. He's at Benfica. He hasn't quite, broken into the first team there in Portugal. Obviously, a big club there, Benfica. But surely you look at Max Ballard there for that defensive midfield position. Surely he gets a look in. So really disappointed for me. That is the big surprise from the Socceroos squad. What else does Max Ballard have to do to impress Tony Popovic? The forward positions, plenty of exciting players there. We've got a number of strikers here: Mitch Duke, Adam Taggart, Brandon Borello, and Mohamed Toure. Toure coming off a good campaign for Randers in Denmark. Martin Boyle and Daniel Arzani, Ryan McGree, Marco Tilio, expect them to play in the wide positions as well. Obviously got Borello, who can play in a wide position also. So an exciting front line. I think you've got plenty of options there, plenty of different combinations that you can look for. Tony Popovich did comment on Craig Goodwin. Apparently he's out with injury. We know Nishan Velupale is out with injury at the moment as well. So a few players still missing from those wide positions as well. No Nesrita and Kunda. Popovich did obviously highlight how he'd been called up to the under-20s Australia squad. But also mentioned how apparently he's recently pulled out due to injury as well. So we've got a few injury concerns for the Socceroos, but overall, I think this is a squad capable of at least matching it with Japan and Saudi Arabia, and hopefully coming away with a few points at least from those games. Some surprise inclusions, some surprise, players missing out on the squad as well. We'd love to hear from you guys. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. What do you make of this squad? Can Australia automatically qualify for the World Cup over the next couple of weeks? Let me know in the comments. Thanks guys for tuning in. Hit the like button on the way out, and I'll see you in the next one.